This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Us three, we like to follow the law.
We do.
The letter of the law, actually.
Very law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. And when we want something, we go and buy it with our money. No, sorry, Sean goes and borrows it from one of his neighbours. But Natalie and I will go and buy it.
No, that's true.
With our own money. This is actually a really clever idea, though, to be honest.
Nathan,
and you
don't
shouldn't
say
do it.
that.
You shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. But
Morally
the
wrong.
fencing around the children's playground and Flying Fox at Raymond Park in Lathlane has been stolen.
So the fencing around a
Yep.
children's playground.
Yep.
It was high fencing too, like it's 1.8.
Yep. And so
Someone's
someone's
trying
like,
to keep their dog in.
like someone's done the measurements. They've gone right there. We need fencing, and they've
Yeah.
got a Lemon Park. And
Yeah.
wait,
That'll do.
that's
That's
what
gonna
they're doing.
work.
They've waited
Hey,
the dark of
gonna work.
night, and they've taken the fence. I
Oh,
think.
that's
I mean,
the effort required.
if you are walking past it and going, "Oh, look, someone's throwing out this old fence around this playground," it's the way you look
the
at it.
time to throw it out and dig it
Frame
into
You
the
yell
ground.
at people. Saying, anyone?
Is this anybody's?
Is this anyone's?
Look, it's just laying here.
And then no one claims it. Well, I asked everyone.
Technically,
That's it.
on the verge, right?
It's on the verge, Natalie. So it's the way you look at it.
Framing, Nathan,
well,
is very
technically,
important.
Nathan, everyone's fence is then therefore on the verge.
To be honest, when we look at it, But the thing about fences and stuff is you don't think that people will take permanent structures. So if you walk outside and your letterbox is gone, that's unusual because your letterbox is just rammed in the ground. When someone has to dig something out,
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's
that
something
happens
that
with
you can
people's
just
trees.
pick up and take away, you go like easily. You go. I understand. Not that I'm condoning the theft of it.
No, but we
I
understand
can
we're getting on the
understand
mindset.
the ease with which
Natalie,
it can be taken.
like a granny flat, right?
Yes.
I don't think many granny flats have been stolen, but a caravan, yes. And that's your fault because you put it on wheels.
I've always thought about that. One thing that I've always thought about is stealing someone's boat, to be honest. That's what I thought. Because they see it on the verge, you see it there, and you just go, and I've got
And
to...
you know Sean paused then
Put
because
it out
tonight
there.
Sean was going to do it. And he's like, wait, this is too much of a correlation. So he just has to work it and he's like, wait, they're looking a month time, we've got to work
can we
it.
point
You know
out
what I mean?
that is the one thing that he's thought about, though.
But you're right,
So many
Sean.
guys
They are
like,
sitting
I like that
outside.
boat.
They
Well,
are
why
sitting
wouldn't I just take
Sean,
it? 'Cause
they
I
are
can hook
sitting
it up.
outside, and all you need is a tow ball.
My
You'd have to go
BTV's got
and
a
you have to go and
tow
take someone's tow ball. There's a left out behind their car.
Okay, so just a quick shout out to the good people of Bicton. Just put a tracker on your boats just for the next. He'll forget in a couple of weeks' time, but just
saying.
for the love of
Yeah.
God.
Permanent structure theft, right? So something someone can take your wallet, someone can break and
Yes.
take your TV, something that they have had to get the tools out to dislodge or dismantle or take down and take with them. And you're like, wait there, or how did they do that? How did they dig up our entire fence at the middle of the night?
Yes.
How did they steal our
How do you
underground pool?
transport that home?
I know.
Like so. And then you've got to put it up again. Would you put it up the same night, or is that to and go?
And
oh,
also-
that
the
was
neighbours are
al-
not
that
gonna
was
go.
always
You've got
there.
new
But also, say this fence was like gold, right? And it's a very like recognisable gold fence and the thing. What if you take something too recognisable that you can't use for a fair while until it's gone out of people's brains? Because people walk in and go, "Hey, that's the thing from thing." They live in the same community as
Yeah.
you.
So this isn't a permanent thing, but they did steal from a part. Steal.
Well, tell me what it is.
Forever.
What is
Or
the thing?
forever.
What is the thing?
Okay, you judge if this is a crime or not. So friends of mine, this is quite a few years ago, actually, they lived in a house where their garden, they're having people over and the lawn was not good.
Yep.
And so one of the guys said, I saw down at that park near us, they've rolled up the lawn.
Well, that's their own fault.
Fantastic.
And they're like, they're not rolling, they're not going to roll that out again, are they?
Lawn
What
to
do
me
they
is
do
a
that?
permanent thing. so
Maybe,
they've rolled it
yes,
up.
that's right. So they went and rehomed the lawn
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
in their backyard, and so they because that under cover of darkness, which suggests they didn't think it was legal, and then they rolled it out, and then in the light of day, because it had come from a sporting field, all the lines that were on the lawn were going in the wrong direction.
Just get some green paint.
So
mate.
it looked
You'll be
like,
all over that.
it looked like
No
dyslexic
problem.
lawn.
Yes.
It looked like one of those wooden puzzles, Sean, where you have to slide one out and then slide one in and, to make the
Became
picture.
modern art.
But that's-
is that a
but-
crime?
but-
Do you think that's a crime?
Natalie, okay, ready? I'm walking down the
Had
street.
they- if
I'm
they-
walking down the street and I'm a lawn lover. All right, so I'm walking down the street, lawn lover, and then I see someone that's not using lawn correctly. Lawn's supposed to be flat on the ground, and instead they've rolled it
Yeah.
up into scrolls. They're giving it away.
They made it too easy to take. And also, like, had they gone and dug the lawn up themselves,
So
that's
if I'm
theft.
walking past lawn, I don't even place a
But
lawn.
if
and I
it's
take some
already
lawn.
rolled up, it suggests that they're getting rid of it.
I think
right?
people have dug other
Here's the
people's
deal.
lawn up.
If you've been like Natalie's friends or been like these people possibly in the park and walk by and go, oh, is there no one using this? Is anyone using this? Anyone using this?
At 1 in the morning?
Using this? Is anyone using this? No, there's no one that answers it. It's not stealing when you think about it. Susan, hi.
Good morning. How you going?
Good, Susan.
Good,
Okay, so
Susan.
we're talking about the theft of fixed structures. What happened?
Well, I bought myself a very fancy letterbox, which was quite expensive.
It's exciting when that happens.
Cemented it in.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, get up, no letterbox, and somebody had reversed up, put obviously a rope around it, and dragged it down the street and dumped it in the park.
Oh, come on.
So they didn't want to. They just didn't want you to have
it. It's on an ATM. You need to drag down and see if money comes out. What's the point of that?
So we retrieved it and brought it home and sort of painted it up, and then we decided, right, we'll put it back in. So we put in like all these bricks on the bottom and more cement.
Yeah.
And then they did it again.
What? Oh. And then
the Cowboys
was it found again down at the park?
I can't honestly remember, but I think I gave up at that point and bricked in a solid letterbox.
What was the end game of that?
Well, they must have been someone who might have known you at the time, Susan, thought this would be hilarious.
Do you think they knew and liked her, or Sean? Do you think it was a joke? I don't think.
Yes.
I think jokes. I don't think jokes lend themselves to destruction of property.
That's vandalism. Yeah.
No. But like,
okay.
But maybe it's like
it wasn't me. They didn't like. It might have been the husband at the time.
Okay. I was just going to say, maybe it's like the old-fashioned version of, how, like, Sean, you went through this. You told the story about when you've sent somebody a message and by mistake, and then you've got to throw their phone into the river. So they might have sent a letter and then went, I regret that. Let's get rid of the letterbox. Thank you, Susan. Rachel's from the Vines. Hi, Rach.
Hello.
Hi, Rach.
Right, Rach. What sort of permanent thing got pinched?
So we had 4 frangipani trees that were all like good sizes down the side of our house, and they were my pride and joy.
Yeah.
All 4 of them one night got taken.
From the roots down?
Yeah, from the roots. We pulled the whole thing out the ground. So we had some offcuts because we cut the branches and grew them ourselves. We put them back in.
Yep.
And a couple of weeks later, they went again.
Oh, my God.
Can
That's
I tell you,
using you as a bloody nursery.
Frangipanis are hot on the market, right?
Yes.
So,
But they grow really easily by propagating them like that. Just do that.
I saw some in a plant shop the other day, and they were like $40, right? And so it's a tiny little like a stick of frangipani that you'll give someone for free, you know, Rach. So anyway, Dad the other day, their property is just littered with frangipanis, right? And they're really big and overgrown. This woman drove past and stopped the car and went and knocked on Mum and Dad's door and said, "Excuse me, can I have some cuttings from your frangipani tree?" And Dad said, "No worries." Anyway, she proceeded to cut most of the trees down. And Dad was carrying loads back with her and never stopped her. And it's like, so most of the trees gone.
He said yes.
Dad, one of those little ones like $50, Dad.
Yeah, she'd go off to sell them.
Dude.
Yeah, we've got heaps at our house. They come up well.
Thanks, Rach. Marissa's in Yangebup. Hello. What got nicked?
Oh, so I grew up in a traditional Italian household, equipped with beautiful white lions, which were cemented on the front.
Amazing.
When I was younger, if I drove past your house when I was visiting from Kalgoorlie, it would have been the one we would say, "Mum, go past the house again." It's got
big white columns.
Big white
money.
columns.
They've got money, those people.
Olympus.
Yeah. They were beautiful, but I think also they were kind of drew too much attention. And I remember one night when I was a teenager, we woke up to the lions missing. And they were concreted onto the front brick fence.
And they were the size probably of a big dog, weren't they? They were actually nearly life size.
Huge.
Yes.
And concrete,
they would have been
heavy.
300 or 400 kilos.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were devastated, but then we later found them down the street. Whoever had taken them had obviously given up because they were so heavy.
Oh, yeah, mate.
And they were all poor smashed noses.
I thought you would have left one hump in the other, wouldn't you? Because they always remind me of the two statues that come to life in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Marissa. So they went to so much effort and then just dumped them anyway.
Too heavy now.
I know, but we salvaged them and they made it back on the fence.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Sunday Ariang, how are you Sunday?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Now, last week Sunday you were a bit cagey because we were grilling you, and Sean in particular was really wanted to know about your fitness test and whether or not you're going to be playing. And you were very cagey. You weren't giving anything away, and I thought that's because you obviously weren't playing. And then lo and behold, there you were on court.
You're a good liar.
Yeah, Sean tried to get it out of me, but I wasn't going to say a thing.
Yeah.
I had a few more questions, but Nat wouldn't let me.
Because obviously...
I reckon I would have got you.
Thanks, Nat.
Got you back. That was an incredible match against the Lightning.
Yeah, it was
oh my God.
such a fun game, and it was so close the whole way through. But like that last 2 minutes, like the fans and like Green Army,
the noise
was so loud, and the atmosphere was sick. So,
do you reckon it makes a difference that Dan's been able to use the bench in a really strong manner? I mean, obviously you were off and on to make sure that you got through the game, but The Cransburg
Wouldn't that be
sisters.
great? Wouldn't that be great during the show
Only
for
one
them
play
to,
this up.
One.
for them
Yep.
to give you a rest during the show? I'll shorten
Yeah.
it off the bench. We'll put someone else in for 5 minutes.
Brilliant.
But I mean, he brought Katie Ann Dehaney on at exactly the right time because
Yeah.
she basically turned the game.
No, I know. It's great that we're able to use our bench. It's always good to have that depth. And, when something's not working, being able to throw someone out there, or if someone needs a rest, being able to
Yes.
change it up. But yeah, like Katie Ann came on at the perfect time. And that chat she had with Dan beforehand really had her going. But yeah, she did amazing that last moment.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, knowing what I know about sport, always saw the bench as a punishment. A bench
Yeah.
is where you
Not
don't
it-
start.
yeah.
A bench is
Yeah.
but you're saying it's now a tool.
Yeah, Nathan. Back in my day, you start
Well,
starting
when
the
sport was
bench.
first
What have I done
invented.
wrong?
Yeah.
What have I done wrong? But
Yes.
but if it's used correctly, which
Yes.
it should be, it's just a position.
And
Off you go.
netball, it used to be that you could only make changes at the quarter
Yeah.
time or half time.
Yeah.
Now you can do it during
You
the
can roll
match
in.
and there's
Yeah.
timeouts.
So now
and
do
things.
athletes understand that?
Yeah, I
Sunday.
think athletes
Yeah.
are starting to understand it a lot better. Most of the times it's
You know,
kind
you're
of
starting
like,
on the bench this week.
well, I won't be there. No, it's a nice little rest here and there. But yeah, no, it's kind of used like a bit more wisely now and like just trying to get fresh legs out there, which everyone kind of understands. So
Yes,
Fresh
it's really
legs.
strategic. Yeah.
yeah.
Sunday, do you guys get match payments, or you just? Sorry to get into this.
Sure.
side of it.
Sure,
I
you
just
be-
wanted to know.
I can talk about this.
Can you get your BSB?
Yeah,
please?
but, no, because I'm leading it back to sometimes when you are either on the bench back in the day and or you're the emergency.
And you're still getting paid.
you weren't
or you
getting-
don't
you
get
get
paid
taken
unless
over and
you
you don't
play.
get to run onto the field. There's no match payment.
Oh,
Oh, it's like, so if your episode of Wheel of Fortune didn't air, you
Yes,
don't get the
you don't
money?
get the prize money. Yeah.
Wow. Did your episode of Wheel of Fortune air?
mine's always Eric.
How do we see the Mavericks? I know they haven't won many games this season, but
I think that
still
you
in the way.
kind of look at them the same as playing any other game. You never know. Some teams just show up and just
Have a
get
good
you-
day.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we just have to really like focus on what we can do to make it as hard for them. And I guess what we did well in the last game, if we can take that into this game. But like, yeah, we're excited to come across the Mavs. I think we haven't had that tall shooter in a while, so it's like coming up against what we struggled with at the start of the season. So
Yeah, wow.
to be able to see where we're at. So
Hey, Sandra, I've got a hair question because your hair looks amazing all the time, right? I think it's
thank
absolutely
you.
beautiful. And I've always wondered with these what do we call it? It's just plaits?
Yeah, plaits.
with the plaits. So you wear it like that all the time.
Yeah.
When it grows, what happens? They have to undo the whole thing and then redo it?
Yeah, so
Because you can't just plait from the root to the...
So you can probably tell that there's regrowth in here.
No.
It's all the-
It looks tight. It looks tight.
That's how you called it out,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
But no, so pretty much once it starts to grow, like after 4 to 6 weeks, I
Yeah.
usually take it out and then just redo it again.
Wow.
So you take all of those
Yeah,
little
every
braids
single
out
one
and
out
then
and
start
then-
How
again.
long does that take to redo?
Oh, to take out, it's like maybe like a couple of hours.
And that must
to
look
redo.
crazy.
Yeah, it's all over the shop. And then to redo, it's like, it can take a whole day. But if I take my time, it'll take like...
Do you do it yourself?
Yeah, I do it myself.
That!
Yeah.
But it's so even!
Oh, thank you.
Oh, secondly,
But
you've got a sister.
I do. There's a little
Yeah.
bit that I...
Isn't this something-
Don't you sit there with your sister? Doesn't Ruth get
Ruth's
in there?
got
And...
literally nothing else to do. Why don't you get her to do it?
She's
no good.
Yeah, she's
You don't
still
trust her?
learning, so I don't trust
Oh,
her.
so she'd have really good hair and you'd be manky.
Yeah.
Well, good luck against the Mavericks on Saturday. We think you're going to
Absolutely.
get those points.
Thanks, guys.
Put 'em in
Have
the
you got
bank.
restricted minutes for you, or
I can't say. I can't speak on it.
God,
Sure.
Sean.
I'm going to say
then,
she's
then tell
playing
him how much you're
restricted
getting paid.
minutes. You can always be susceptible second up from a hamstring injury, so restricted minutes for Sunday. You'll see her out there, but there'll be a few interchanges. I'm imagining.
Well, now we've got that role of like changing subs in and out, so there might be.
Who knows?
She's so
Who knows?
cagey. I
Onto
love
her.
it.
Who
I
knows?
love it.
You'd have to wait and see.
Yes, Sean.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Award-winning comedian because she picked up the award for the best WA-based comedy show at Fringe World, which is highly competitive. Nikki Justice, welcome.
Nikki.
Nikki Justice. One of the best names ever.
That's a great
Straight
name.
away, it's like Stan Lee created you and put you in the comics. Is it real? Is it Nikki Justice actually your name?
Yeah, so my Justice was it's my mum's maiden name. So I took it on after I got divorced because
Yeah.
I didn't want my ex-husband's name.
Yeah.
Why? Why's that? So I mean, that's great because when you break up a fight, you're justice of the peace, which
Yeah.
is great. Yeah. So get back into your partner. Why'd you break up?
Well, if you want a
love
clue, her show's called 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral, and it does go into a fair bit of stuff. I've seen Nikki's show, and it's an absolute corker. For somebody, first solo show, wins the award. It's amazing, Nikki.
Thank you.
But you had a lot of base material.
Yeah, I definitely had a well to draw from, and I'm a chronic oversharer, so it's all based in truth, and I just laugh about it.
Yeah, for everybody out there, your ex-husband was the coffin cheater, so you're in the bikies realm. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're a tattoo artist.
Yes.
You're in the circus.
Yes.
Was I right to say? Is it right to say the ladies of bikies, were they referred to as onions? Is that a thing?
Jesus. Well, okay, some people might, but that's quite offensive, Nathan.
I don't know what it means.
No. So an onion is, an onion doesn't usually refer to the wives and girlfriends. It's usually
another girl.
A more casual affair.
It's the ones with lots of layers.
Oh, so they're an onion.
Yeah.
That'd be pickled, wouldn't they?
There you go.
They call someone who sleeps around a club an onion.
Wow, Sean.
Hey, Nikki, so how did you get into comedy, though? We just talked about your background.
Yeah.
How did that morph into comedy?
It sort of happened by accident after COVID. And I was posting funny stuff on my stories, and there was a comedian in Perth who followed me and wrote #comedian on one of my things. And I'd been watched a few comedy shows. So the seed had been planted, and then as soon as someone called me a comedian. But it kind of, like, even after that, it was like the jokes just sort of, my first jokes just came to me. I was just doing my makeup in the mirror one day, and I started making myself giggle at my thought process. And then I was like, this is a bit of a joke. And so I just decided to give it a go, and I did an open mic like a week later.
No way. So you just wrote it down, and then did you Google how to be a stand-up comic?
I probably did. My first set was so cringe. I did like a parody song for 3 minutes, which is far too long.
That is way too long.
But we get it. When we first started radio, once we got on something good, we thought we'll do the whole show.
I actually just sent it to a comedy friend of mine recently because he was like, oh, you got to show me. So I dug up this video and he said, Nikki, I'm saying this as a friend. Never show that to anyone else.
Can we see it? Is it online?
I have archived it. It's really embarrassing.
Okay, we'll see it.
Well, you got to start somewhere, basically.
It got me my start. And it's still, to be fair, I had a lot of friends in the audience, so that was probably why it went as well as it did.
Now, also, you have worked as a tattoo artist.
Yes.
Tell everybody about your podcast, the premise for your podcast.
So I interview other comedians mostly and tattoo them as well.
Right.
And there's been some fun tattoos. Some people come on and they just want something cute. I mean, it is something that they've got on them forever.
Yes.
And then other people have a bit of a laugh. So.
And you are doing 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral as part of the Perth Comedy Festival as well. So you've got 2 shows across the weekend?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday at 6, Sunday at 5. It's all happening at the Rechabite. Details at perthcomedyfestival.com.au. And
So I'm guessing a lot of X stuff in there, like about your ex.
My
sometimes?
ex-husband does feature in there.
Do you have to run that by him, or what's the deal?
At the beginning, I didn't. We didn't. So when I first started comedy, we weren't getting along, and I was using comedy. I was absolutely using comedy as therapy.
I mean, almost every comedian is.
So he didn't approve of the jokes at first, and I didn't care. But then we started getting along, so then I did run them by him, and he's.
And then
he
got them. Yeah, it's about intent, isn't it?
He knows what I say, and he's okay with it.
Has he ever been in the crowd and you've gone, that's him?
He came to my very first solo when I did the trial. Him and his partner, who also gets a mention in my joke.
Oh, Nikki.
Oh, it's great.
And did you point out their hair?
Pardon?
Did you point out their hair that night?
Yes, I did. I had a lot of fun with it.
That's too good. It's too good.
You got no choice but to laugh when you're in that situation.
I never go with a comedian or a songwriter.
Yeah.
You got to feature heavily.
I'll get you.
Nikki's going places too. Like, she's a big deal. Winning that award was incredible. For a first solo show, it's almost unheard of.
Don't forget us when you're doing a Netflix special.
That's what I was going to say, exactly. So go and see her now, and then you can say, I knew her before she was famous, but she's awesome. Nikki Justice, the show's called 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral. Thank you, Nikki.
I'll
see you Sunday night.
Yes,
it's going to be great.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
I need your advice. Mm-hmm. I need you to tell me if I should be alarmed about some of these messages that I've been getting from
Righto.
All right. Well, no, I was drunk firstly.
So,
And it was cold. So don't worry.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Are you ghosting me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very impatient.
Can Lewis write letters?
Am I coming on too strong?
It's your dad.
Okay. John.
You made me sad.
That was
now
me.
we're taking a turn.
No, I think this is where it takes a turn. Then the last one, nobody ignores me, ... for long.
Oh.
That's your
Is that
period.
alarming?
And it's come from an unknown source.
Oh, no, you know the source. You're just reading this the context to say if you didn't know the source, then you
Yes.
should be alarmed. All right. So, who would it be from?
Who do you think would be? Do you think that's alarming?
I mean,
Yes.
if you take that down, then give some spooky music, and then set it in an ominous voice. Yes.
Yes.
But if you did like Kermit the Frog, probably not.
Do you know who's sending me those messages?
No.
Duolingo.
Dua Lipa.
Duolingo.
Dua Lipa.
That's Jules' brother.
Because I took Spanish lessons with Duolingo before I went
Oh,
to
and this is
Mexico.
their-
And now I don't need Spanish lessons anymore, so I stopped doing Duolingo.
Can you tell them to F off in Spanish? How's that?
Duolingo is sending messages. Nobody ignores me for long.
Whoa.
Settle down.
That is hectic.
That's
So
intense,
is that coming
right?
from the company? Is that coming from the language?
It's coming from the little owl, I think.
Wow.
The owl has taken umbrage with you, Natalie.
He really hates the fact that I'm no longer doing Spanish lessons.
Yeah, bilingual by
Settle
gunpoint.
down.
That's insane. But wouldn't it be better if that was from a person? Because there's the potential out there.
I don't want to be with that person,
In the
Nathan.
darkest day. The darkest
There is-
day, Natalie.
There is no day that is that dark.
I don't know.
Wow. I don't
Settle
know.
down.
Yeah.
Nobody
One you knock
ignores
back is
me
one you don't get.
for long. That is threatening. He's threatening me.
That's a little owl. That's amazing. Our phones can do that these days.
I know, you know.
Mate, AI is going to get all of us.
Yeah. Wait until
And first
Maya.
of all, it's gonna
Wait
come
until
to you.
Maya starts sending you a sexy text and asks you to come over for a lay-by.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Our Eagle, Jeremy McGovern, is in the house, and we thought we'd be talking footy to him off air. Not really. It's Nathan just going over the tool set that he's got.
I said, I've got so many tools, and Gov says, what?
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, thought that you'd have Roby.
Don't.
You just knew. You knew.
This is my thing. I told so many people I was buying a Ryobi, and not one person mentioned that, this is the thing that the builders wouldn't choose, but it is fantastic for the people
Were the
at
people
home.
you're telling me like down at your clubhouse, is it?
Yeah. The men's shed.
With the onions. Down in the mention.
I've picked when I was young, so I was DeWalt.
And then you committed.
And I've stayed
Like
with
you're
it
an
'cause-
Eagle for life, you're DeWalt for life.
Very much loyalty to it. And
Where's
I
DeWalt
feel like
in the
a lot
pyramid?
of trade
Yes.
people
Proper
are
tradies.
one in, and they're
That's it.
diehard of whatever it is.
But Nathan,
Makita.
yours is cute.
Forward Holden.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
there's
that's
like the wannabes.
But he's
is
got the
Ryobi.
matching bag.
And there's the K-pop.
Yes.
The K-pop version. That's really good. Getting back to the Gov, though, of course, we saw you get taken off the field last week with a HIA. Where do you stand with your recovery this week in terms of your head knock that cost you?
Yeah, it's obviously 12-day process at minimum that you've got to go through. So I feel like was this last year we were talking about this as well? Yeah.
Oh, those head knocks are doing well.
Yes. That's deja vu. But so got to go through that full process and make sure that everything's good.
Because
it is.
Because
but it's
I
not.
know a lot of athletes. But no, I'm ready. I'm right to play. Right to play. But you do know it's for a reason. But
Of course, yeah. So it's not really frustrating, but it's
Yeah.
like you can understand.
Yeah.
But it is tedious now. Like it's not. You just run back out there and it's all good. There's a process and a system, which is good. Is what we probably needed for players to make sure that the decisions that are getting made around it are good decisions for everyone's health. So,
across
it's
the
a
board,
fair process.
12 is it?
12 days.
12 days, man.
12 days is minimum.
So if you've got a wedding coming up and you know you've got to play a game.
Oh, yeah, you reckon?
Oh, yeah, you go. Oh, okay. You can be on the
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's 12 days minimum.
Knock me in the head, somebody.
I mean,
yeah.
You were on the boundary line, Gov, when you were taken off the ground and you were visually involved in the game because you were still...
You didn't
you
look
had your
dazed,
faculties,
is what
yeah.
we're saying, yes.
And you're up and about and you're getting involved because the Eagles had some good
and your
moments
pants are
and
on
stuff
your
like
head
that.
and you're screaming, I'm the lizard queen.
That must be hard because from the outside it certainly seemed like you were good to go.
Yeah, looking at it now,
Yes.
I felt like I was.
Yep.
But I think the docs made the right decision. I felt
What did
fine.
you
It was
feel
my
when
cheek.
you-
I
when
thought
you
it was
got
my
hit?
cheek.
Yeah.
We were worried about my cheekbone. And that was actually okay. But thankful for the docs, I think, in the end. Because you seemed all right. I seemed fine. But doing the testing and stuff after, you probably weren't. So it's like, okay, well...
right
that's
decision
what,
was
That's
made.
what that system and process is there for.
Yep.
But also at the same time, you're a little bit frustrated. It's like, I felt fine. I could have been back out there. But the docs' jobs are to make sure that my health in 10 years, 15
Yes,
years,
that's
20
right.
years
We're
is
talking
gonna be
long
okay.
term, yeah.
Well, Gav, it's going to be a tough go against Richmond because they'll be, it's a home ground advantage for them.
Yep.
They'll be up and about. You're not playing, obviously, as an experienced player down the
big
back
out.
line. That's a big out. There's a couple of young guys coming back into the team.
Oh, every week's a challenge for sure, but Richmond at their best have knocked off some sides and gave them a real good run as well. So, on the road travelling, first game at the G, probably for a lot of those young boys as well. So that'll be exciting for them to get some experience on there. But it's an opportunity as well.
How are you keeping your morale up?
Sorry?
How are you keeping your morale up? As a club, you haven't won a game for a long time.
He said morale.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to keep keeping the morale up for sure. But luckily, we've got a lot of young boys in our group who bring a lot of energy and enthusiasm and laughs, which
so it is still
helps.
fun, because I worry about that. You're having fun playing.
Yes, we're having fun.
Money. Look at him.
But it's definitely not as fun as when you're winning. So that's why winning's be all and all.
Would be good.
Do you look at the game through the young players' eyes, say their first time at the G, because you had yours? Do you sit back and watch them walk in and actually sort of
Soak
try
it
to
in?
experience that through them to become not bitter like we are?
No, not really.
No?
Nathan, I'm not a weirdo like that, but...
A voyeur.
Someone would say, Sean.
No, I think understanding that, you're not watching them. I'm not sitting there
not watching them
across the corner and my eyes popping
We're talking
up
about
over the
there's no
screen.
hands down pants.
But for sure, understanding that people look at it differently.
To your point, Nath, I think that, though, if you're playing with a whole heap of young guys, and there's been a lot of stress for the West Coast Eagles for a number of years, right?
Yeah.
And you see the energy in their eyes and the excitement being
But
there.
even
Like I was at the
radio,
footy last night, to be with a group of friends who are really having a good old time and enjoying themselves, then you're up and about. It's the same
Yeah,
playing.
it's like radio. We've got Trusso here that's pressing the buttons, and he's at the start of his radio career, and every time there's a new first, I love looking at his eyes. He's so excited. He's not bitter and twisted like us.
Yeah.
He's at the start of his journey.
Was I excited today? This is my first time in with Jeremy. actually. So it's very cool.
Is it?
Yeah, it's huge for him, and we just go, oh, dumb
Wow,
old
everyone
Jeremy.
just got more excited then.
Dumb old Gov, we say.
how you should
and
all
then
be
he's
treating me.
"Whoa."
We say it all the time.
Yeah. But I like that. And I think people in their own jobs should lean into watching the younger people experience something for the first time, because they're going to have something that we don't, and that is excitement.
Yeah, and
passion.
that's where the enjoyment comes from,
Yeah.
of the excitement of the
After you
young
watch
boys
them.
and seeing all these things. You'd sort of get sucked into it a bit.
Gav, we wish you all the best. Look
Thanks,
forward to
guys.
seeing you back
Yeah.
against St Kilda, which will be next Sunday afternoon.
Yep, thanks very
And
much.
good luck to the Eagles.
Well done
on
to the Doggers
this
for
Sunday.
playing them into
Thanks,
form.
guys.
Yep, I'll meet you in the toilet.
Mate.
We'll have some more tool talk.
Oh, you're going to cross swords.
Sean, tools, not weapons.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Now, apparently it happened before Easter, the actual offence, and there's some proceedings before court, but the relevant party has pled not guilty to the offence.
Okay.
But the offence is this. This is why it piqued my interest.
Right.
Assault, bad. We don't condone assault if that's that's what's happened.
Yes.
Assault with a wheel of cheese.
I condone that. I condone that.
Now, you just go. Like, was there no grader available? Like
Was it Speedy Gonzalez?
So it happened apparently at a IGA
Well,
in
straight away,
Sterling.
can I
Is
say-
I would have
that-
thought a
was gonna say,
Continental
the
Deli.
interest in the interest in this story is quite high now, because we're not talking about craft singles, we're talking about wheel
No,
of cheese.
wheel
This
of
is
cheese.
the next step of money. This is that. Some people never
Yes.
buy a wheel of cheese. I never bought a wheel of cheese.
Can't afford it.
No, but maybe they didn't buy it. Maybe they just picked it up in the shop. I don't know the scenario.
Well, I think the people that are shopping a wheel of cheese shop, they're shopping in a better place than the places that don't have wheels of cheese.
Wheel of cheese. It's pretty hectic.
It's wheel of cheese. You're paying wheel of cheese prices. You are.
Have you ever been assaulted with food?
Wait, let's go to the assault first. What did he do? Did he just grab it like a pan and smack him over the head with it? Did he roll
we
it
don't
towards him?
know. And he's pled not guilty. So according to him, he didn't.
Right.
Right.
I suppose you just look for the head mark in the wheel of cheese.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to defend yourself against a wheel of cheese, and that's with a CC or possibly a Jats cracker.
Yeah,
And that's easy to
Yeah.
defend.
Yeah.
I years ago, back in the day when I had a relationship once,
Wow. Okay.
crazy.
How were those
Anyway,
dinosaurs roaming
this person
around?
had moved into my place without telling me and did it as a surprise. Like, ta-da!
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, what? Anyway, so then that just happened, and then when shocking relationship things like that happen, and you feel like you have no authorship over the situation, even though you're in it, you just let it happen to you.
Yeah.
We've all been there. So that was going on anyway, and then we're arguing a lot because I didn't want you to live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet it wasn't a thing that we'd bring up. It was this elephant in the room.
So you had no conversations about it.
And then just things were bubbling. And then one day he turns And he grabs a loaf of bread and he throws it at my head, and I went off my brain because I said, "That's the toasty slices." That could have taken off my head.
They could have toasted you.
Yeah, and it was skinned my face. The loaf of bread, and it was a hard. It was like a hard loaf,
like a crusty loaf.
It wasn't a topsy. Was it?
It wasn't tip top white. It wasn't Wonder White.
It wasn't Wonder White. Nelly would have been a pillow at my head.
No. It was, money.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Mate.
All right, 13 24 10. It's a quick one. We just want to know,
Large cucumber knife.
No, those I can handle.
See how I'm looking into your eyes?
I know you are.
Louise, hello.
Good morning, guys.
Hi,
Welcome
Louise.
back, Nathan.
Thank you, Louise.
What happened, Louise?
Well, I used to work in the city and I used to get off at McIver Station.
Yes.
And there was a lovely local lady that frequented the area. And I don't know whether or not she visited a soup kitchen. And then I don't know whether she didn't like the item or not, but I must have glanced at her at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And it was an open can of the tomato and onion tuna.
Oh,
yeah, cat food.
And she managed to have a really good throw, and she got it about 10 metres or so.
Yeah.
And she hit the back of my my black slacks for work. And it was in my pants. And then I had to walk into work and go up the glass lift with everybody, smelling like tuna.
And then doesn't people go, "Did you smell fish?"
Louise smells like tuna.
That's not good.
Did you have cats following you around all day?
And I had to obviously. I did. I explained to everyone in the lift what had happened.
Yes.
Because I didn't want them thinking I felt like that. And and then the girls at work were so good. They're like, "Let's get you some soap. Let's get you some towels and try and clean it off." But I had to stay in those pants all day.
I was going to say, because if they took your pants, what were you doing?
Yes, then you're just running around in your knickers.
No, she can't get up from her desk.
That's funny.
Don't use tuna as a weapon. That's mean.
Oh, that is mean.
Thanks, Louise. Candace, hello. What was used as a weapon? Talk to us.
It was a bottle of milk. So back in my checkout operator days, back in the day, these two people, they were just arguing. I can't remember the exact details, but they were arguing over something while they were waiting for their stuff to be scanned through the checkout.
Yeah.
And then the next minute, this guy just opens his 2-litre bottle of milk and pours it all over this lady.
He did
and
it.
We just stood there and we were just like, what just happened? And he just walked off and we're like, what?
Oh, okay. So was the milk a branded, or was it the supermarket brand?
I can't remember. I think it was a 2-litre plastic bottle of milk, and he just opened it up and just
poured it on her head. Were they together?
Yeah. Were they strangers? Did they know one another?
They were strangers.
They were strangers.
Perfect strangers. Yeah, didn't know each other.
And then walked off. So what about the groceries? All of that was just sitting there.
Yeah, he only had a few things. It was the express lane, but he
Now,
just
what
walked
happened?
off on this
Did
old
everything
lady.
turn into slow motion and she flicked her hair back and it became all sexy, or was she shocked?
Was she lactose intolerant? There's a lot to ask.
But she just stood there like, what just happened? And we were all just in shock. And everyone just was like, what? And then, we got her paper towels and cleaned her up. But
Luckily, at the time, Sean, she was buying a big packet of Weet-Bix. So breakfast was done.
Yeah, just mopped her up.
Thanks, Candace. Adam's in Caversham. Hello. What happened?
Oh, it's going back probably about 10 or so years ago. Me and my wife just moved into our brand new house. Anyway, we had some leftover hamburgers from the night before. And I said, oh, look, I'll just go have a shower. And I said, what are we going to have for dinner? She goes, I'll just knock the burgers together. I said, no dramas. I said, look, put a bit of salad in and make them a little bit fancy.
Oh, you need the deluxe, are we? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I wanted full gourmet, no mucking around.
I'm picking up.
And she said, no worries, all good. So anyway, I got out the shower and she serves me the burger. So I sat down at the table and it's just the bun, the patty, a bit of cheese and just a squirt of sauce.
Yes.
Yeah. So I looked at her and I was like, what is this? I'm not a child.
I'm not a child.
Did the sauce make a smiley face?
It was just, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, where's the salad? Where's the tomato? And
you clearly asked for deluxe. I heard it.
I did ask for a deluxe gourmet burger, and we just went back and forth with this argument. Anyway, kitchen sort of runs in line with our dining table. Next, this burger just goes whizzing past my head, and I'm just like, you are not serious. I just turn around, and she's just standing there with this real angry look on her face, looking at me. I look behind me, and there is just sauce and crap all over the brand new line.
Can I tell you, though, guys, this is history. This is the first known case of a smashed patty, and then it became a thing, Sean.
The dog was so scared. He must have realised that he's done something wrong. He didn't even eat it off the floor.
That's how scared he was.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.